That's my good friend, Alex City's own, Alex City superstar,
Oh my
Lynden
God.
Blake from OutKick on the program. What's going on, my friend? How are you?
What's up? I'm good. I'm mad. I forgot my fake hair. So you're just
That
getting all natural today.
the hair looks beautiful. Do you see your thing at the bottom there? Alex City superstar.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta screenshot this and make it my cover photo. My dad will be so proud.
Well, I always say that you're the most famous person from Alex City. And that's even
Besides Terrell Owens.
no. He's number
Besides,
two.
no,
No,
no. You got T.O. My dad taught T.O. swimming lessons. Fun
there
fact.
you go. Well, see, T.O. didn't
Fun
get in the Hall of
fact.
Fame till I think the third time. So if he was a first ballot Hall of Famer, he would have been number one in my book. But he's
Wow.
third. He's third. So that means that you, my friend, you are at the top of the list.
Wow, thank you so much, Jay. Well, you are the apple of my eye.
Thank you very much. I am so
Yes.
proud of your rise through the ranks. And the first time we met, you were were you an intern with Fox Sports Florida? You
Yeah,
were
I
in the
was
Rays. Tell
interning.
everybody.
I was interning with Fox Sports. That was over 10 years ago now, which is insane. So we've known each other for more than a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And Jay used to make fun of the way I said boat and
Boat.
coach. And I was so never been to Tampa, moved to Tampa, never been outside of Alex City, Alabama. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, I was so culture shocked. I learned so much. And Tampa is still my favorite city. Like,
Hmm.
it doesn't get better than Tampa. I'll be
Yeah.
back there one day. Trust me.
Unbelievable. So you leave there, and then where was your next step from there?
So I went from Tampa and I got into local television in
Hmm.
Sarasota. And
Right.
so that was kind of also culture shock because I was doing news, like hard news.
Hmm.
And if there's news coming out of Sarasota, it's going to be the craziest story you've ever heard in your life. Like either crazy good or like
Hmm.
crazy, like, oh my gosh, like it's insane. So then from there, I went to Huntsville, Alabama, was there for 4 years, covered sports. That was really fun because when I was in Huntsville, I got to cover everything from Final Four, multiple national championships because of Alabama football NFL draft because it was in Nashville at the
Hmm.
time and just a great part of life. Then I went to Birmingham, got into morning television, the most fun I've ever had, 6 hour morning show,
Oh man.
interviewed, we had Bruce Pearl on all the time, like any cool person, Nick Saban always on. And now I'm in Nashville because I got married and my husband coaches track and now he's coaching at Vanderbilt. And so as soon as I knew I was moving to Nashville, I was like, I've got to get involved with OutKick because I'm an OG OutKicker.
Okay.
When OutKick was just a blog, like back in like 2013, I feel like I was OG OutKick. And we made it happen
Yeah.
because you got to
Yeah.
make it happen.
You're all over it now. So for some of our people are asking, what is Outkick? How would you describe it? And I met Clay Travis a couple of years ago
Yeah.
when he came into iHeart, and we just had a really interesting conversation about everything because he's now gone from a sports guy to now talking just everything. So for
Everything.
somebody that doesn't know Outkick, let everybody know what it is.
Okay, this is like my favorite story to tell because it's evolved into what it is today. So Outkick is Clay Travis. You may know him as the guy that asked Tim Tebow if he was a virgin at SEC Media Days. Okay, so he had a blog. He was a lawyer. He had this like sports blog, and it was great. And he was just always raw, unfiltered. And then Outkick grew his sports blog. Then 2016 hit, and everything. I mean, we've been in this like political like turmoil for a decade. I don't turmoil is a bad word. We're just,
Mhm.
things are polarizing opinions and everything. And Clay started speaking to like the common sense of stuff. And he was like, okay, you know, I was a Democrat for forever. He worked on Al Gore's campaign and he was
Mhm.
like talking about Trump and being like, Trump has good points, whatever. And you started kind of seeing Outkick kind of be like our saying is sports in our way, and it
Mhm.
kind of just became a sports pop culture news thing. And then in 2021, I do believe, don't quote me on that, may have been later, Fox News purchased Outkick. Huge deal.
Right.
Clay, I mean, that was huge for him. This company that he started just got bought by Fox Corporation. And so now that's what, if you see Outkick people on Fox News
Yeah, because he's on a ton.
because
Yeah.
Yeah, and Clay makes appearances all the time. Plus, he has his radio show every day too. So OutKick is just like exploded. I feel like every time you go through just an intense news cycle, OutKick grows and gets bigger. We really pride ourselves on being, factual, telling the truth, and we're just not going to let someone influence our voice and try to
Right.
tell us what to think. So we love it.
Yeah, I mean, and you're all over it now. I mean, some of the videos that you've been putting out have been going crazy. What has that been like for you to be able to kind of put yourself out there? And sometimes Outkick goes kind of against the grain when it comes to
Yeah.
the popular narrative when it comes to sports. So, how has that been for you to be able to kind of put yourself front and center against some things that may be considered kind of the in the opinion of the minority, maybe to the
Yeah.
usual what we hear in sports?
Well, okay. And this, I feel like I'm on FaceTime with you. So I feel like I'm just going to be like, just
I
so raw and
I told you
unfiltered.
this is
But,
how it was going to be. Yeah.
it's one of those things, especially going from local media where you were so by the book, you were so cookie cutter, you were so no opinion this way or whatever. Like you were just, and you're not really allowed to speak your mind. Like you get in trouble if you have an opinion, if you share something when you're in that local television space. So going from that to Outkick, I had to like make peace with myself, and I was like, I'm gonna put myself out there. I'm going to have an opinion. It's going to be my opinion, and I'm going to have to live with it, whether it's met with, hate or
Mhm,
love. And so at first, it was kind of not even intimidating because if I'm gonna be honest, like I really don't care what people think. And like
mhm,
it takes a lot to like get me down. So like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, it's hard to read the hateful comments. I
mhm.
really don't care. And so, but I did have to make peace with myself that some people that I love and adore who firmly don't believe anything that Outkick believes may not love me anymore. And that's been
Wow.
interesting. You've lost some followers because of it. You gain more, but I had to make peace with that. And I had to be like, okay, I'm going to be true to myself and we're going to ride this train. But it is kind of funny because my youngest brother is 21 years old and we're very far apart in age.
Mhm.
And I think it maybe like Easter or something. We're like all sitting at the table and he's like, man, Lyndon, you get some mean comments on Instagram. And I'm like, I don't even know that you followed me on Instagram, but thank you, Weston. Great observation. But it is kind of going against the grain. But I think if you're in anything in life, if you got to stand for something or you're fall for anything, and you
Mhm.
have to truly believe what you're putting out there. Because I think it would be hard if I didn't believe in the things I posted. If I
Right.
didn't truly believe that men don't belong in women's sports, that's like a big, if that's a big controversial thing in my head.
Mhm.
I'm like, it shouldn't be that controversial,
Right.
but I have to believe that because I
Mhm.
would get eaten alive and I would get my feelings hurt if I was like, oh man, they're being so mean to me. Let me go back and change what I said. Maybe I said
Right.
it this way. And I was like, no, I said what I said and we're done.
Right. Yeah, I
So,
mean, and it's ironic that you said that because I actually took a picture with Clay a couple of years ago when he came in, because listen, this is one of the and I told like the conversation we had was very transparent and honest
mhm,
because there was a lot of things that I don't agree with him on and
mhm,
but I felt like the conversation we had was so healthy because when we walked away from each other, he goes, "That was a great conversation because that's how it should be." Like we should be able to
yes.
have conversations in this country on sports or anything and be like, this is your opinion, this is my opinion. We can still be friends, we can still love each other, and then move the hell on. Like it doesn't have to, we don't have to hold
Mhm.
resentment. And when I took that picture and posted on social media, I had people that I went to school with that are, they were like, I can't believe you would take a picture with that guy. And I'm like, wait a second. Like, again, if we are at that point in the world where if we have people that are different, have different viewpoints, and like you're really gonna not be my friend, or you're gonna hate me, or you think I'm some type of way, like I don't want people like that in my life anyway, because now
No.
you're just judging me on if you're judging me on stuff like that, you don't really know me because I,
Mhm.
I feel like there's a lot of I feel like there's a body of work out there that I've shown to people that prove that I'm a decent human being and I'm
Yeah.
open to a lot of different viewpoints and I'm, supportive of a lot of people that don't have the same mindsets and ideologies as me. And I feel like there's a lot of people that are like that, but there's
Mhm.
going to be miserable pricks on both sides that are unhappy. And all they
100%.
love to do is just hop on social media and be these internet bullies and Twitter tough guys.
Yeah, I will never unfollow someone on social media that I know that believes differently than me. Like if I start seeing someone post these things and I know you, even if you did it, I think that's such like a lame like stance. Like we've the country was built on, the idea to create a more perfect union that's going to be a work in progress for forever to the end of time. And that's Clay's whole thing. And I love that's what he stands for, is he wants to have conversation. You disagree with me? Let's talk about it. Why don't you want to talk about it? Because I always want to hear someone out. I want to hear it's what makes humans humans, is how you evolve. It's talking and communicating. And you don't want everyone to think the same. I'm over
Mhm.
this group think mentality. Like, that's scary, you
Yeah, it
know?
is. Yeah, we're like robots and we're like sheep. Everybody think the
Yes.
same way. I think some of the best conversations that I've heard is when like Clay and Stephen A. Smith talk about it, because they're guys from
Yes.
both sides of the fence and they
Mhm.
can get together. And it's so funny because I don't necessarily love Stephen A. Smith as a sports
Mhm.
personality, and I really enjoy everything outside he does of sports, because he talks to people and he talks to everybody. So I enjoy when he's able to go and talk to Sean Hannity and he's able to talk to Clay, and they're able to have these conversations, and you can tell where there's differing viewpoints. And then they get together and like, hey man, that's great. We'll do it again. And then I just feel
Yeah.
like I feel like people are scared to have conversations like that, because they're like, oh my God,
100%.
there's a vulnerability about it. But I want to talk. All right, let's get back to let's talk about some of the
We
fun
could
stuff.
talk about, we could
We
make
could do
this like
this
a
all day.
weekly segment on how to be a better human. Like, we could do it.
How to bring both sides together, right? How to bring
Mhm.
both sides together. Because I think
Yeah.
that's in essence what's going to really help the world, instead of just bashing people for viewpoints that you don't share.
And canceling
Uh,
people, like, be
a
better.
ridiculous. All right, Tight End University, TEU. It was there in
Mhm.
Nashville. Like, how did you get set up? For those who don't know TEU, it's been going on for the last couple of years. Travis Kelce, George Kittle, and the retired Greg Olson bring all of these different tight ends together. Our very own Kate Otten from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was there,
Mhm.
and they meet up and they do. It's just such an incredible a sense of brotherhood and family. How did you when did you get whiff of this? How did you go? Like, take us through that entire thing before we get to the Taylor Swift part of this
Okay, yeah.
discussion.
I'm now like calling Titan University, it's like the Coachella of the sports world. Like, that's what it's turned into in such a short amount of time.
Did you
Every
make that up?
company, I mean, I said it the other day to my friend. I go, it's turned into Coachella of
I
sports.
love that.
It's a good
Love
phrase,
that.
because I was texting a buddy of mine who now works at Florida Atlantic, but he worked at Vanderbilt for a while, and that's where they have the
Mm-hmm.
actual football part takes place at Vanderbilt. And he was like, "What? Like, this was like an off-season camp, and now it's turned into such a brotherhood, such a bonding experience where you do football." But I think it's more important than that. It's taking some of the best tight ends in the league, and you're inviting these rookies. There were some unsigned free agents there that just graduated college that don't know what they're doing. And I think it's so selfless of
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey, Kittle, and Olson to just give them advice and help them find success. And I think every position should do it,
Yeah.
because you're learning from the best, you're working out, you're connecting. But I think it's just so important for those younger guys to see successful people who have learned the league and learned how to be successful. And I just think it's the coolest thing. Plus, it's fun. Like, you're getting the bussing with
Right.
the boys guys, and
Mm-hmm.
Theo Vaughn's out there running routes, and it's in Nashville, and I think it's so fun, and it's just going to keep. I don't know how it can get bigger, but it's going to keep getting bigger. It's
Right.
so young. Who knows what it's going to be in 2 more years?
You love Nashville, don't you?
I'm such like a Nashville person. I'm such a
I
country
it's so
music.
funny. Like, as you're talking, I'm like, I don't know if a person like me being a New Yorker, right? I came to Tampa, and I feel like Tampa is just it's wrapped its arms around me, and I just
Yeah.
freaking love it here. And there's like still parts of New York peppered in through Tampa, so I
Mhm.
find I find my home away from home. But man, ever since you guys moved there, I could just tell. Like, it's like, and you did great here. We miss you here, but it's like a hand in the glove in Nashville there. So
Oh,
I'm just so
and
happy for you.
shout out to my husband for getting
Shout
the
out to
Vanderbilt
Chad.
job.
Shout out
Shout out to
Chad.
Chad, because he was selfless in his journey too. Couple summers before, he would turn down very good jobs for him because he wanted the city to be a good fit for both of us, and Nashville was it. Like, his boss now at Vanderbilt jokes, because I met her at the Olympic trials last year, and I was like, "What do we need to do to get this job?" And she was like, "We like who it like." I'm like, "No, like." what do we need to do? Like, I'm acting
Mhm.
like his agent right now. Like,
Right.
what do we need to do? But no, it's perfect. I'm a beer girl. I'm a country girl. I'm an entertainment girl, sports girl. It's perfect.
You're an
So,
everything girl. Uh,
mhm.
are you a Swiftie? That is the question.
Okay, let me get sat for this,
Here
as
we
the
go.
young people say. So I don't identify as a Swiftie because I'm not psychotic. I
Okay.
have know every single song she's ever done, all the albums. I took my senior portraits in high school in 2010 with a guitar because it was Taylor Swift. It
So
was
how are you not a
fearless.
Swiftie then? You're a
Because
prototypical.
I'm not gonna bully people online that say maybe she had a bad hair day. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I can't. And here's my thing though. Here's my theory. And if you're a Swiftie, debunk me, please.
Hmm.
I think most of the Swifties are like 21-year-olds that called on to Taylor like during COVID, like during her like folklore era, and they're like, she's changed my life, which is amazing. But like, I look at her like the other night when I was looking at her in person, I like still saw the girl that sang Tim McGraw and that
Hmm.
sang at like Oxford, Alabama's prom when I was in high school. Like,
Hmm.
she's amazing and she's like the coolest person in the world. But like, I feel like she's just grown up with me, you
Right.
know?
Hmm. Yeah.
Like,
No,
I
I love
love
that.
her. Like, I love her, but I never been to a concert until the other night.
So you're not a psychotic Swiftie, but I think you have. I think you're in there. I mean, you know every song. Like that's
I Because I love I'm a Taylor Swifter.
you're a
Like, I like,
Swifter. Oh,
yeah,
maybe okay. So you're a Swifter, not a Swiftie.
yeah.
So you got to be
There
careful
has
that you're not.
to
You got to be
I
careful you're
can
not a Swiffer because you're not cleaning the
like
kitchen
I
here.
cannot
Swifter.
be like the ones that like stalked her for years when she was in
Right.
hiding trying
Right.
to figure out where her fingerprint was at a coffee shop in England. I can't I cannot do that. But like, if she puts out a new album, like, heck yeah, I'm gonna listen to it and I'm gonna know all the words and I know all of her albums. She's freaking the best. Now Chad's a Swiftie.
Really.
Chad is a Swiftie.
Wow. All right. So
Mhm.
what's the difference with him then and you?
He got on the train late.
Oh,
Like,
late train. So
he
you
like he's listening to like Evermore and like folklore and all these like really deep songs. And I'm like, what were you going through? Like, when this came out? Like, I didn't know you then, but like, what were you going through? He's a Swiftie, like hardcore, like I'll come home and he's like playing it in the shower.
wow. Things you learn about your husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
Yes.
what was that concert like being there? Did you know what was going to happen? Like how did that whole thing come about with Taylor Swift? Because I think now you wonder if Travis Kelce is somewhere, Taylor can't be too far behind or vice versa. Did everybody know that she was going to be there? Did everybody know that she was
No.
going to perform? Because I know Kane Brown put something out on social media like when you thought you were the special guest and it was
That was
definitely not him.
hilarious.
That was great.
That was hilarious. So no, so we everyone that like lives in Nashville was like asking anyone that had like any insight with like TU, which is what I'm gonna call Titan University,
Mhm.
like, is Taylor Swift gonna be here? And they're like, no, like, no, she's not. But then when she showed up that first night to like the welcome party, that's when you just kind of assume she'd be there Tuesday night. So she shows
Mhm.
up Monday night. They make their like red carpet debut together at Titan University, which I thought was so fun. Like, he's not going to go to like he will some award shows he can't go with her, but I love that like that was their red carpet debut as a couple. Like, they have not done that, and they did it at Titan University. And so when people knew, and she went out on Broadway that night. So you kind of like thought she'd be there Tuesday. Like, I figured she'd be
Mhm.
there. But then like once I got there, you're like, one, how could she not perform? But then like you had some people be like, there's a surprise coming at the end of the night. And it was like that was the final song when she came on stage with Kane.
That's
So,
great.
and it was so fun because she had been hanging out, jamming out to all the other artists all night long, drinking her like cranberry and vodka drink that we see at all the NFL games and just having a good time. And that's like her party trick. Like,
Right.
how can she not go on stage and sing a song?
Yeah, exactly. It's their
So
element. It's her element, right?
it
I mean,
is.
that's her thing. Like, and as much as people like think, and I think people forget about this kind of thing when you're talking about sports, when you're talking about music.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a professional, that's what you do. Like, that's your profession.
Hmm.
But it's also like your first love, right? So it's almost like if Steph Curry has a basketball and he's on a basketball court, right? He's not just going to sit there and hold the basketball. Instinctually, he's going to do what he's done since he was a little kid, and he's going to shoot the basket. If there's a
Exactly.
microphone and a stage and there's music playing, like this is what Taylor's been doing since she was a little kid, regardless of that's why she's one of the most popular people in the world now. Like
Mhm.
that's music is her calling, and that goes deeper than a profession.
And someone brought up a good point that they were like, I bet she loved playing in a small venue again.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, duh, it's so cool to sell out the biggest stadiums all
Mhm.
around the world. But how personal, I just got chills, and intimate,
Yeah.
isn't it? To be back in this city that made you in a small venue with your boyfriend, all his buddies, and just like go rip a song out. It had to
I
be so
love
much
that.
fun.
What do
She's
what do you,
fun.
what do you make of their relationship? Because a lot of people were talking about how it's just for, it's just for propaganda. It's just for them to get followers. It's just for them to get popular, but this is still going. I mean, there was a lot of people that didn't think it was going to last the season. And now we're
Mhm.
going on a couple of years now. What do you make of their entire relationship? Do you think they'll ever get married? Like where are you at as far as following the tea leaves of the Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift relationship?
I mean, I think it's 100% in game. I think they're so in love. They have so much fun. He was backstage, like banging his head, rocking out to her. And then if you look in the video that I posted on my Instagram, you can see her for like 10 seconds just like look side stage and like sing to him. I think they're having so much fun. I mean, I'm sure they'll get married. I feel like they're like the Kelseys are such family people.
Mhm.
And that's what you do. Like you want to, wife up the girl you love. But I just think they're just a great mix because they are opposites.
Right.
Like she is always been since she knows she's like the nerdy girl or whatever. Like,
Mhm.
she was never the cheerleader. She was always in the bleachers, like in like all her first songs and stuff. And like he's like the Super Bowl champ star. And I think they just like love each other. And I think that she loves watching him do his thing and he loves watching her, do her thing.
Does that
So,
change though when he retires? Because he's on the downside of his career, and that's what I always think about. Because when you have two professionals, right,
mhm.
and he's going to have a lot of downtime when he retires, and you wonder there's going to be a lot more sitting around than he was. And I talked to a lot of professional athletes about this.
Yeah.
Like they have to find something to fill that void when their
Mhm.
playing career is over. Do you worry about that being a Swifter that could affect the relationship in some way?
No, because the last couple of years he set himself up for post retirement with the podcast, with this like
Mhm.
clothing brand, even doing like something like Tight End University. You see like Greg Olson's still involved.
Mhm.
I think he is setting himself up to keep him busy, to keep football somehow in his life, and to have that passion always be a part of him. And then, I think that's gonna be more like a personal journey. I don't think it'll affect their relationship though, and eventually she's going to go and tour less,
Right.
and then they're going
Mhm.
to have to just go hang out in Ohio. Like I get it. I'm with an Ohio boy. Like, so Taylor, call me.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not going to visit Florida for the holidays. Like,
Yeah.
it's just going to be different, but I don't think so. I think he's doing a good job. I was actually thinking about that this morning. I'm like, he is doing such a good job of expanding his brand and his passions while still keeping football a part of them that he'll be fine after retirement.
There you go. We cover it all
Mhm.
right here on the Jay Recher
Mhm.
podcast. Lynden Blake, OutKick. Follow her on all social media platforms at Lynden Blake. You are the best. Thank you so much. Go tell. Did I say breast? You are the
He
breast.
said
There you go.
breasts, but
You are the
hey, I'll
breast.
take
There you
either,
go. You're the. I was gonna say something about Chad, and I got caught up in between. You are the best. BEST. You're not gonna
Yes,
cancel me now because you work for OutKick, so we're good. You are the best.
exactly.
BEST. Tell Chad I said hello, and you guys continue to do great things. We got to do this again because I feel
We
like
do.
these are like our conversations. Our normal conversations go on forever, and we can
Ever.
talk about pretty much everything. So,
We'll do it.
continued success. Tell Clay I said hello. We'll talk soon.
I will. Bye.
See ya.